You know what, Mike in Space? Better late than never. Damn it. So I'm here today with Mike Tidwell. Welcome to the show. Welcome to the show.
Hey, Colin. Thanks for having me.
Yeah, where you calling in from?
I'm in Atlanta.
You're in Atlanta?
Yeah.
Oh, cool. You got your green screen set up and stuff?
Yeah, I just got it set up. I'm seeing like a little bit of green behind me, so I'm still working on it.
Yeah, you should probably like do a backlight for that. You know, like just put a separate light on it to make sure it's good.
Dude, you're the pro. I need
look it. Somebody wants us to high five. All right, ready?
We get it? Is that it?
There it is. Yeah, there it is.
Is that it?
Yeah, we
Nice.
high five.
Cool.
It
looks like we're right next to each other. It's so crazy.
Yeah, my mic like broke, so I'm using this one, and so do my headphones. But it looks like you got a pretty good setup over there.
Yeah. Yeah, no, it's nice. I really thought about, went on Amazon and really thought about what I bought.
Yeah.
Picked out everything myself.
Yeah. Okay. Nice. Cool.
Yep.
Some professional stuff right there. So we'll start over from the beginning. What got you into Bitcoin? See, you look like I'm like acting like I'm looking,
do you want me to do it too? Do you want me to
Yeah.
act like you're next to me?
Yeah,
Okay.
that's pretty funny.
Okay, so I'll try to like look over to where you are.
Yeah,
right
sure.
over there.
It really sells the effect. Kiss.
So NCR employees were mining 2013, and
What? NCR?
NCR, the company.
Okay.
It's a Fortune 500. At one point in time, they were, I think, the biggest company, or one of the top companies in the world. They provided all the point of sales for the whole world. They own a ton of patents. They pretty much invented the ATM industry, or they commercialized it for most banks. If you see an ATM, it's most likely NCR's, a non-crypto ATM, that is. But yeah.
What year is that?
2013.
2013.
It was a bunch of nerds at NCR talking about mining and following the hype in the mid 2013s, and obviously a lot of people in tech had heard about Bitcoin by that time, but never really looked into it. I think the first time I heard about Bitcoin was on NPR, actually. I'm talking about a college student who put all of his life savings into it and then lost a bunch. And every time I heard about Bitcoin, it was always going to zero somehow.
Right.
Every time I heard about it, it just kept going to zero. Even after it got to zero, it just kept going to zero. So I never really paid attention to it until coworkers were, really, really getting into it. And then, I found interest into it. And the funny part is they're no longer interested. And, here I am.
So did you get rich off of it?
Well, I was a poor college student then. So, no, not really.
Yeah.
And, $300, as a college student, $200 even for Bitcoin back in 2013 was a big investment for me. So,
right.
I was buying I know this is going to sound silly, like a tenth of a Bitcoin at a time, like $20 worth of Bitcoin at a time, because I was like, I'll diversify a little bit. So, I don't have any crazy story where I'm going to retire or anything.
Mm-hmm. Gotcha. I think I forgot to put your Twitter up on here, so let me do that now.
You don't have to.
Oh no, come on. We're gonna be here for a while, I feel like, so I'm gonna do it right now. So now you're currently like employed in crypto, right? Like
a real crypto company now.
Like
yeah.
a real crypto company.
Yeah.
So like, how did you get to where you are? I know. So I actually know you through the Atlanta blockchain, right? So you've been doing that for a while, which has kind of been on hiatus now because Corona and shit. So when did you start Atlanta blockchain? Because that's like been probably one of the most like successful meetups of like blockchain in the world. Probably, I don't know. It's like just from the sheer amount of people that you've had at those. So like, when did that start? How did that get going? And what's going on with that now?
Yeah, Tab was really always about. That's back when I was learning about Feathercoin. What was it? Apache Coin and Litecoin, and what are some of the other ones that fizzled out?
Hey, look, we just got $10.
All right, there we go.
Todd Jones. Oh,
from the real cash.
Yeah, the real Bitcoin.
but yeah, it was a very confusing space because people were talking about Bitcoin, but then there's all these, random altcoins, and I was like, okay, well, let's start Tab to figure out what the hell's going on. So it was really supposed to, originally started out as, hey, let's just figure out what's going on and get together and talk about Bitcoin and maybe something else that might also be interesting. So we can, stay on top of it as a group, as a community, because it's hard. Because they're, at that point in time, well, even now, I would say people that are popular in crypto are not necessarily the best sources of information. Anyways, so yeah, Tab kind of started as a small group. I think the first meetup was about 20 people. And, our largest meetups have been about 800 or 700 some RSVP. And of that, about 400 or so showed up.
Yeah, I think I was at that one. It was, the peak bubble 2017, right?
Yeah.
Like when everything was, Bitcoin was like 18,000 or whatever.
Yeah.
I think it might have been like the day of like the all-time high. You guys had to meet up. Like, it was nuts.
You know how bad the bubble is based on how many people are lined up to talk to me after the meetup. Because I am obviously not the best person to talk to. And if you think I am just because I was up there talking, then that means hype bubble,
Right.
So, it got to the point where...
This guy's the CEO of blockchain.
Yeah, this guy is obviously the CEO of blockchain, and you'd have 5 or 6 people line up, and people want to interview me, take me out to lunch, stuff like this, and I'm just like, yeah, you have to make an appointment because you and everyone else, right?
Yeah, right.
But it's real funny how you can quickly become almost like a mini star and get really burnt out by talking to people because you're just sick of it, because it's like everyone has a really bad idea and they want to pitch it to you,
right?
And you're just like, I've heard this 1,000 times, I don't want to hear it again.
Right. So it's they'll like just have their like random company that they've thought of, and then we're thinking about doing a token.
Well, it's not even that. It's just more like, we want to do this and we want to do this, and then we want to use blockchain. And I'm just like, how does blockchain fit in this? They're like, well, we're thinking about smart contract. This is like maybe nowadays, with smart contracts and DeFi and stuff. Now it's more like, we have this idea and we want to do this. This is like more current conversations I've had. And everyone is on board. And we have, these big famous people. You think this person's big? Well, we have these people. And then it's like, and then we're going to get all these people together. I'm like, okay, sounds good. And then we're going to use blockchain and smart contracts. And I'm just like, Jesus Christ.
Blockchain and smart contracts. That's the future right there.
Yeah.
You saw my McAfee video, right, that I made?
I loved it.
Sweet, thank you.
Man, what an interesting guy.
I know. It's insane. Just like promoting ICOs and shit. It's just crazy. I wonder, like, if you would have promoted some, like, really just, like, shady ICO to, like, that group of people, like, if you could have made a difference in the price.
I know.
Because, like, somebody in there just, like, has, like,
$100,000.
I mean,
if you think about it, during the peak, we probably had, one person can be a 9-figure kind of person.
Right.
It's really hard to tell because you'll have a lot of people that come to the meetups that are very quiet, very reserved, and have been in the space since 2011, 2010. You have a few of those kind of guys, and you just never know who has maybe 10,000 Bitcoin or 100 Bitcoin or 10 Bitcoin. It's everyone wears a T-shirt, and I think we could have done a lot of really awful stuff, and we Tab decided not to.
Yeah.
I say that's a good thing, but we did take, I think, $1,500 from Tron, and we spent it all on alcohol.
Oh yeah, that was a good night.
At the bar, and that was fun. So I love taking ICO money or just token money, and then just saying, yeah, we're just going to use this as an open bar. I'm not going to take any of the money for myself. We're just going to buy alcohol with it. So.
Yeah, that didn't last very long. I remember that. It lasted like 30, 45 minutes or something, that open bar.
Yeah, I think I left like a $200 tip on the, like, I tried to save, some of the money for the tip, and
yeah,
I was just like, geez, that went quick.
Yeah, that went very quick. I think I had a couple beers at least, but that was a good time.
Yeah. I can't wait for the next 10x pump. It's going to be more parties.
Yeah. Right. Oh, speaking of parties, remember that one time that we went to the adult club, and
I have no idea what you're talking about.
Some
Atlanta has adult clubs.
Some wallet
The most adult
business developer like just gave us a stack of ones. Like, did she think we're important?
Jesus. Yeah.
Anyways, that was I gave
girls
one,
are like at the club. They're like, "You're into Bitcoin? Here's my number."
yeah, totally.
That never happened actually, but
it
could.
I gave one with paper wallet.
With your number on the back.
If you need help redeeming this,
yeah, that's a real smooth way. Here's the paper wallet. My number is
If
on
you
the back
want
in case you need help with this, because I know you will, because this is fucking confusing.
if you want to save 30% on Amazon.
Yeah, I got this shuffle thing, and then you'd be completely private and Fusion, and yeah, you'll love it. She's like, okay.
Mike is
Sounds
said
great.
when the bar tab ran out, Colin bought me a drink. Was that at that was
He's
after
probably
Tab
talking
Conf.
about TabConf.
Yeah.
Yeah, we're talking about just the Tab meetup. So the funny part is Tab meetups were as big as TabConf, like in terms of like the bigger ones,
Right.
you know? So it was like a monthly, big event. And, obviously now it's like, well, before the COVID-ish thing, we were only getting like 100 people. And before it was like 4 times that. So it's really interesting to see who sticks around. Like, where the hell is Marie Antoinette?
Hey, you want to claim this $5, dude? Get your Bitcoin.com wallet out.
All right, hold on.
Somebody
Can you make it visible for me? I don't know. I can't see your screen.
Here, okay, I'll share my screen. All right, it's shared.
Okay, cool. Hold on.
Your Bitcoin.com wallet, better hurry. This is a 5-minute old post. All right, now you go to settings.
Jesus Christ, is that how much money I have in here?
Jesus, you have a lot of Bitcoin Cash, bro.
How do you...
All right, then go to Sweet Paper Wallet.
Jesus.
All right, go for it. Go.
Fuck.
It
says no value.
All gone already.
Did someone
Try this one. It's all gotta be gone, probably.
Gone.
That's one.
Gone.
Rest in peace. We tried. Yeah, you got a lot of Bitcoin Cash, bro.
I had no idea. It's funny. I've probably lost an embarrassing amount of crypto formatting my phones and just forgetting.
Oh yeah.
Maybe I could have had $1 million worth of some random thing, and then I just forgot about it and formatted my phone.
I got a gift for you, but I can't find it. So TabConf. So TabConf has happened once so far.
So we had an event in 2018, 2019, and then for 2020 we canceled. So we were about to have our third one.
There you go. I'm in the way, but I own a lot of Bitcoin Cash. That's you, bro.
Yeah, I probably own more than Roger. Roger doesn't have anything on me.
Yeah, I was getting excited for the 2021 because we're gonna have like different camps, right? Because there's gonna be like a lightning camp, there's gonna be a spice camp, which is like the big blockers because we all spicy, and
yeah, like so as you know. Hey Colin, I'm about to get a beer.
all right.
Can we just wait 1 sec?
Yeah, I'm gonna go get one to you.
Okay, cool. We'll both get one.
Yeah, Mike's at his house right now, talking to Mike Tidwell.
Okay. Hey, I'm back, Colin.
Oh, hey, what beer did you get?
Oh, I got a Corona.
Oh, me too.
Oh, cheers.
Cheers.
Yeah. Yeah.
Nice.
Nice. My protest to the coronavirus is drinking it.
Yeah, exactly. So, yeah, there was gonna be the spice camp. There was gonna be lightning camp.
Yeah. So as you know, I don't know what the phrase is because I'm not really on Twitter anymore.
So
like
what's your job right now?
It's lightning.
Yeah, your job is lightning.
Custodial lightning. Very controversial. But
nobody likes it.
yeah, not even the maximalists hate it. The Bitcoin Cash people make fun of us. They say we told you so. I'm just kidding. I would say people are fairly friendly, but I I don't really know what defines a toxic maximalist or whatever, but I would say I definitely lean, on the BTC side of things. But even so, I love the idea of us getting together with different ideas. Even the Ethereum people, it cringes me to say that, but trying not to, pretty much essentially trying not to just openly dismiss people's opinions, people's ideas, trying to see what makes sense. I think it's likely that a lot of these projects that are around now have some percentage of them, whether it's 50% or 10% or whatever, are going to be around in the future. That doesn't mean they're going to be long term. Like 50 years from now, there might, I think, definitely there will be less projects that last that long. But I think you can't really iterate and make good progress if you don't know history and you don't know what people have tried and failed. So I'm all about optimal or ultimate maximum experiments, I guess you could say. But definitely I lean for the BTC side of things.
We weren't getting our notification sound, and I'm wondering if it's because something's not plugged in correctly. But,
Colin, am I losing you? Hello?
I'm here. I
Okay.
think that was Zoom messing up. So, JC's here. What's up, JC? Yeah. So I wouldn't call you a toxic maximalist by any means, because the toxic ones like really don't give a shit about anything besides Bitcoin, and I'm
just nicer about it.
Right. You're just nicer.
But I'm still as toxic.
But that's contradictions. You can't be You can't be toxically nice.
Underhandedly toxic.
Okay. But you don't put the toxic radioactive icons in your name.
Yeah. Man, is that like the whole it's weird. It kind of started with like Tone Vase and Jimmy Song and Pierre and them cats.
Yeah.
In terms of like, because there's always like anonymous people, right?
Yeah.
Like, who are some of the anonymous people? Shinobi and stuff.
Mr. Hodl.
Hodl and HODLNOT.
That Bitcoin meme hub guy.
Yeah, but I think really, Pierre's wearing a cowboy hat.
Yeah, he's a cowboy now.
He's got a beard.
This is my alt account.
Hey,
This is my alt account I follow.
He looks
toxic.
Open up Pierre's.
Gosh.
He looks a lot better with a beard.
He's kind of killing it. Like, I mean,
he looks better. He found his fit. I think that's a good look for him. He finally found out who he is. I think this look is much better than his previous one, because he's clean shaven. His hair is also long too.
Yeah.
Wow, he's really let it grow out during the quarantine.
Yeah, it looks like he's been riding horses during the quarantine.
It sure does. I think he moved to Austin. If I'm not, did he move to Texas?
Doing the rodeo thing. Yeah, he's in Texas.
Yeah, so I think he moved. I think Austin is the Factum headquarter place, but I think Jimmy Song lives there. And does Jimmy live in Austin, or does he Houston, or can't remember?
I don't know. I was gonna look up this thing where Tone Vase just get absolutely owned by that hating guy who made Uniswap. So all right, so I gotta ask your perspective
fun
on DeFi. So like, have you used DeFi? You use Uniswap?
Nope,
not at all.
No, I've completely ignored it. So I could be missing something great. So I have a close friend of mine who's in the Ethereum space. He's a ex, what was that company? The Joseph Lubin company. What was it again? Help me out. The Ethereum, the people who did all the Ethereum development.
Foundation?
No. Someone in the chat should say it. It's the Consensus. Yeah, with a Y. Not the conference. Consensus, the company.
Oh, yeah, okay.
Okay, you really don't know shit about Ethereum.
No.
But anyways, they're the people who. Okay, anyways. So he's an ex-Consensus employee, and he's apparently, if you're somewhat more intelligent than the average, gambler on Ethereum, which you know, I don't know, I probably would not be above the average. Apparently, you can make a lot of money off of dumb people doing all this stuff with veggie coins and whatnot, veggie tokens.
For sure.
And there's all these kind of weird, like, well, you buy here and then you loan it out here and then you leverage trade it here. And there's, you know, a couple different things. And then boom, you have a trillion vegetables. And then you can go plant these vegetables here and then get the seeds and then sell them here. And now you made 27 Ethereum. And I'm just like, oh, okay, that's cool. But I just never got into it. That's my synopsis of it.
It's very accurate.
Yeah.
So I've definitely done some farming. It's not much, but it's honest work. And
it's honest work is farming.
It's honest. It's honest. No, I mean it's.
I love that. I would just keep it as that. It's honest work.
It's just another way to. It's like the ICO boom, right, of 2017, but like faster. Because the ICO boom's like you buy in and it goes up kind of slow, but so you can kind of catch it again, and then it just like slowly deflates over a year. Mm-hmm. That happens on DeFi, but it's like by the hour.
All within one day.
Yeah. It's actually insane. Like there's this one, I got to show you the chart for it because I was like, I mean, I kind of got burnt on it, and I kind of like.
You're not smarter than the average gambler.
I thought I was early. I thought I was in on the ground floor, right? And that's how they get you, right? And so it's like literally a Ponzi, like, and I knew that going
literally.
in. So I didn't put much in. And it literally started with like 1,000,000%, like 2,000,000% APY, right? And so this is it. And it's now the token price was originally like 20,000 USD. And so, like, I still even have some here. I have 2 cents worth. And so, but the
APY 4,000%.
It was at 2 million. But the trick was how they got you is
wait a minute. You had to settle for 4,000% APY. What a ripoff!
See, the catch is you have to stake it for 3 days. It's locked for 3 days. So it first came out.
And by day 2, you lose everything.
No, but basically by the time the first person pulls out, you lose everything. So what happens is like a perfect example how this DeFi shit works, just because it just happens so quickly. So like Friday, like morning, it came out. I think the first person staked at like 6 a.m. I got in at like 10 a.m. Like 4 hours later, like barely advertised anywhere. And then, so it's locked for 3 days, so nobody could get it out until Monday. And so people were like still throwing money on top of this. And I was like oh, look at all these suckers, right? Like I'm
gonna fucking exit on these suckers,
right? Like I literally like set an alarm on my phone and make sure I was there the minute it got.
So someone sold 4 hours before you did.
So yeah, and like so what happened was I had like 1 ETH in here, right? And so literally like an hour later, I like doubled my money. Right, it was just like so stupid. Like I'm obviously not gonna be able to take all this out. Right, it's just so stupid. So at the end of it, I had like 4 cappy, but before anybody sell, and that's like it was like I said it was like $80,000.
What the hell is a cappy? What?
It's the shit coin.
Yeah, but what vegetable is that supposed to be?
Dude, it doesn't matter anymore.
I mean, it's got like an icon there. Yeah. It's like a purple plant.
It looks like it's like a plant
like
making a lab.
Cannabis.
Yeah.
Look.
But anyway, so I had like $80,000 on paper, right? But I still couldn't lock it. And so literally like, I think like maybe 2 people profited off this. So I was like, there was like 8 pages of deposits. I was like on the middle of the second page. So I was like, I'll probably be able to at least get my money back, right? Anyways, like 2 people sold, probably drained most of it all. The token price went from, so here's where I show you the chart for it. Like so like I bought in probably like here somewhere in here, I don't remember. And then like all throughout here, like nobody's buying, nobody's selling, people are just waiting for the shit to unlock. And then the first person sells and just boom, just drops. Like each one of these is an hour. Like look at that gap in between that. Like that doesn't even happen like normally. Like just a gap in between the candles like that. But anyways, and so by the time I got it out, I got back a third of my money. So I didn't lose it all, but I didn't.
Did you learn anything?
Be earlier next time.
You learned the wrong lesson. You learned the wrong lesson.
So yeah, basically whoever did this probably made like a couple $100,000. You know, it's just another day in crypto. So
Cool. I'm happy these things are happening.
yeah,
Better now than later.
he's on the 3-day Ponzi. Yeah, it was indeed a 3-day Ponzi. Cause like you do it for the APY, right? Well, I'll admit I saw the API and they call it what do they call it? Aping in. I aped in. So because I saw the APY, I was like, oh, I'm in, and I'm gonna get out as soon as I double my money. And then I was like, oh shit, I have to lock it for 3 days. So yeah. So yeah, that's like basically how DeFi works, but like on a very, very, very small
You want to
scale.
hear something that's just as potential gains with not nearly as much risk, in my opinion, is options trading, because then you
Yeah.
lock in your
Right.
you lock in how much you're willing to lose completely. But then if the price of the stock moves up 1 or 2%, every time it moves up 1 or 2% could potentially be like 50% on the option contract that you purchased.
Yeah.
And
But is it crypto?
no, it's even better. It's more volatile. Yeah, I mean, crypto is. I mean, granted, you know, these DeFi things I don't really even consider crypto. These are just super Ponzi's. You know?
Just Ponzi.
But if you want to look at something like Ethereum or Bitcoin, the stock market's way. I mean, always, you know, like everyone always bitched and moaned about crypto so volatile, it never take off. And then I started looking at the stock market. I'm like, Jesus, these people obviously don't invest in stocks either. You know,
Right. They definitely don't like use leverage or do options.
well, I mean, it's like they obviously don't know about the different ways you can gamble if they think crypto
Right.
is risky, you know,
Right.
because there's just, 10 ways to Sunday.
Yeah.
Is that even a real term?
10 ways to Sunday?
7 ways to Sunday?
7 ways to Sunday?
I don't know. I feel like there's a phrase there somewhere.
Do you think this is a good buy now? I mean, it looks like it bottomed out.
Yeah, I think it's ready to shoot back up any second now.
Just don't zoom in.
You're
like,
probably late.
probably late.
It's every minute counts.
Yeah.
You should just DCA it for the next 10 years. Well, it's bound to go back up.
Every 3 days. Lock it for 100 years. Yeah. Jesus Christ. So yeah, that's how I explain DeFi. So here's the topic. Have you followed this whole Coinbase drama thing?
Only because someone brought it up to me in IRL.
Yeah.
They said, "You know that Coinbase guy?" I'm like, "Do you mean Brian Armstrong?" They're like, "Yeah, I think that's him." I'm like, "Okay, what?" And then he's like, "Well, he made it where you can't talk about politics at Coinbase." I'm like, "Okay." He's like, "Yeah, I was thinking about doing the same thing at my company because we're not a political company and people can just focus on work." And I was like, "Okay." So the guy I talked to thought he did the right thing and he like admired his decision because the guy I talked to, he has some employees that are, I don't know what to call it, like super liberal. I heard lib is not a good term because they don't call themselves libs, so it's actually a
Antifa?
derogative. Antifa? No, no. That's like a weird.
How about SJW?
Yeah.
It's still kind of like negative connotation, but like far left.
I don't know. So anyways, he has people that like the mention of certain things or trigger
they get
them
triggered, right?
and it's TDS,
TDS.
Trump derangement syndrome.
Mm.
So even like talking about Trump pisses people off.
Yeah.
Yeah.
See,
Have you seen that TDS is actually like what someone was trying to say? Like this is a real like syndrome. It's like a real thing.
Oh, I believe it though. I mean, like it's
It's like social media has made its own syndrome.
Yeah.
Orange man syndrome is really what it should be called.
I mean, like, I don't want to like talk about politics or anything, but like the dude's entertaining at least, right?
Dude,
Can we all agree on that?
how can you not after
Yeah.
that debate?
All right.
That debate was.
Jesus Christ.
I mean, I know this is a crypto podcast, but that debate was. I don't even think it was real.
A shit show?
It was. I couldn't stop watching it though. I'll tell you that.
It's like a train wreck. You can't look away, right? So, anyways, it's funny how I like see people's comments on it because I feel like the Ethereum guys are like very left. You notice that?
For sure. Yeah, I think it's funny because I can't remember who pointed this out. Someone said like, a lot of Bitcoin people are kind of more conservative, libertarian, anarchists, more like that, and the left is more like, let's role play and wear furry outfits and talk about our feelings.
Yeah.
And not to say that's. I think it's just there's this hardcore kind of like a little bit more rough around the edges kind of feel with Bitcoin. Like not to say anything about the tech, but just the people. Like Pierre wearing that scraggly beard with the cowboy hat and stuff like that. I just feel like if there was going to be a hitman, he would be accepting Bitcoin and not Ethereum. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, I mean, maybe Monero, but
because like they probably just don't want to like worry about gas fees, and like if their gas limit isn't high enough, their transaction can just like fucking drop.
Or maybe he's like really into DeFi gambling. He's like, yes, I need that. I need
the gas.
Yeah.
Give me that gas.
Yeah.
By the way, I do have Twitch pulled up. I forgot about you guys. We got a couple viewers over there, so
Don't make us not pay you.
that's where you got DeFi wrong. You
This
do it
is
for
a
the
no
lulz.
politics stream. Sorry about that, guys.
Do it for the lulz, not the APY. Forgot about Twitch. Yeah, sorry. Yeah, Twitch is so cool. It's like a 2-second delay compared to YouTube's like 15. Yeah.
Gareth Killa, thank you for saying consensus because that's the company I was trying to think of earlier. And it seems like if I looked here, I would have got it about 5 seconds sooner. Thanks for calling us noobs.
But anyways, I saw people. It's probably an ETH person. They're like, oh, look at this idiot. He lost 5% of his employees. But like,
Who said that?
he like I couldn't track it down now. But it's like, yeah, that's kind of what he wanted. Like, if you care about politics that much, that you're gonna like quit your job because you can't talk about it at work. Like, see ya. Like,
So what I remember specifically is my friend said the severance package that he gave people. So apparently it was something like 3 to 6 months severance. Is that in the article? Look up severance or whatever.
He said that. Let's see. An exit package. He said
60 people, huh?
60.
Isn't that funny that 60 people would just quit their jobs if your CEO told you, hey, I just don't want us to talk about politics?
Yeah, it's like you're a little bit too deep into politics, I think, at that point.
But what I want to know is, I mean, I find it very hard to believe that any of the people that left were conservatives.
Yeah,
that's all I have to say, because I haven't, and this might be me not, this might be me living in a bubble, but I haven't found anyone who is so like hateful of Biden versus hateful of Trump kind of thing.
Yeah.
Or whatever. I would say a few, several people who would say, yeah, Trump is the worst thing ever. Anything but Trump. And get easily triggered if you talk about stuff anyway not negative. It doesn't have to be neutral or positive. It just has to be not negative, and it's already bad enough.
Mm.
Oh wait, sorry. This is a no politics show.
Well, it's Coinbase politics.
So okay, it's our way of being able to talk about it.
Because as Brian says here, isn't crypto inherently political? Yes, but we are okay being political about this one particular area because it relates to our mission. So it's okay. It relates to the mission.
You know what? Double standards are okay when you're the boss.
Yeah, exactly. He can do what he wants. He can fire you.
It's not a public. It's not a even if it was a public company. I could. I would imagine a lot of public companies would. Wasn't there something else with Target?
I'm not sure.
Target, like the LGBT pins apparently at Target you could wear to show your support for LGBTQ or whatever, and then if you wanted to wear Black Lives Matter, then it became political because the whole all lives matter, Black Lives Matter, the great debate.
So yeah, it was 6 months severance, potential 7-year option exercise window. I'm not sure. Really.
Yeah, that's cool. 6 months severance. It's better than no severance.
4 months severance for employees with less than 3-year tenure. 6 months for those who've been here more than 3 years. 6 months Cobra. Not sure what that is. 7-year option exercise window, even if you've been here less than 2 years pending final board approval.
You know what? You not knowing what Cobra means you've never been fired from anywhere. That's what that means.
I've never really been on a paycheck before.
You've never worked for the man. That's what you not knowing what Cobra means.
What's Cobra?
It's just bullshit healthcare. If you become unemployed and you lose your healthcare.
Yeah, I just pay way too much out of pocket for that, for healthcare.
All you have to do is work somewhere and get fired, and then you can pay for Cobra.
Oh, all right. So
I don't actually know what the difference is between Cobra and Obamacare. I don't know why you would want one over the other.
As your single sub, I demand you praise Vitalik and ETH. I'm starving my Twitch following. Yeah, I was trying to fucking stream on here, but after last show, and I was the only one watching myself, so I just stopped. I was thinking what I could do is just like stream to Twitch, record it, then just upload to YouTube later. I was thinking about that. So all my people go to Twitch for streaming.
So, is Twitch for more than just video games nowadays? People are doing that's their main thing for podcasts.
I wouldn't say podcasts really. I mean, I'm sure there is for sure. It's mainly just like, I mean, it's for everything. Yeah, I mean, everything live streaming. I think Twitch is probably better. But I don't know. I use YouTube because it just saves my video right away.
Yeah.
And then
the only thing that sucks about YouTube is it's based on an evil company.
Right. Don't be evil.
Yeah, that's our slogan. Don't be evil. However, we will sell all your data and help the government track you.
By the way, JC said, dude, MAGA people call him pedo and communist, whatever else stuff. JC being a leftist maxi is the funniest shit.
Yeah, JC is the outlier that shows you that you cannot judge a book by its cover because you can't stereotype people. JC is the perfect person to show that you're not allowed to stereotype people.
Yeah. He's our BTC leftist.
You know, I love that. I love that about him. I love that he's different.
He's special for
that's
sure.
That's why he's a lot of people's friends.
That's
because
true.
he brings diversity.
Yeah, he's our diversity.
He's our diversity hire.
Diversity viewer.
He's our diversity viewer.
Thanks, JC, for always being there.
Thanks for letting us check the mark, JC.
Yeah. We are now legal under California law.
Yeah.
Have you heard about that one? Speaking of diversity, California companies like publicly traded or whatever need to have like a woman on their board, like as a law.
That's one way to do it, to bring equality to the genders. What about transgender?
Oh God!
I can't wait. It's very soon. It's
that one's weird.
You know, it might. It's like, you just imagine this. This is going to be somewhat controversial, but if they make it where, include more transgender into the executive suite of a company, someone's like, man, I really want that promotion. Well, if you do, I know a way. You can become a woman. He's like, you think that'll work? I was like, yeah. Well, we're looking for someone like that right now.
Just take these hormones here.
Here, take these estrogen pills, and I'll see you on Monday for that promotion.
Show me the progress of your boobs.
But I'm Sam. On Monday, you're Susan.
Jesus.
You know?
If I want to win an Oscar, I better have some diversity for my documentary. Shit. You're right. I don't have any black people in it. I barely have any women.
Well, Mike in Space is from space, so he has the.
He's pretty diverse.
You try to get at least one person off planet.
Are there any Bitcoin OGs who are black? Like before
Satoshi
2011. That's true.
I saw a shirt once that said Satoshi is black.
I also saw one that Satoshi is female.
Let's see, black.
Maybe a black female.
I'm trying to think of an early black guy who was in. I mean, Fluffy Pony's from Africa.
Yeah, but he's not like. He wouldn't count under Oscar rules.
I mean, you don't need to necessarily look at someone's skin to know whether or not
what they identify as.
Yeah, I mean, Fluffy Pony very well could identify as a black pony.
That's true.
A
woman black pony.
I would say in the chat, if you know the first African American or just African or just black person, all the above, person of color that you know that was in the space, please share it with us, and I would be interested because I really don't know.
Somebody said the dude from Bitcoin San Francisco. don't know who that is.
Yeah, but I'm thinking like anyone from like 2010 or earlier. There's got to be at least one, I imagine. But you know, obviously, all the people you think of off the top of your head are all white dudes.
Yeah.
What a shame.
Systematically oppressive cryptography.
Dude, tell me about it.
Jesus, you think there's probably some color shit in the code?
Like a white and black list.
Yeah. The blacklist is probably pretty short. Okay. Speaking of white and black, I enjoyed your podcast, by the way.
No Opinion Dismissed?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's my new thing.
Yeah, CILII.
So I have a podcast called No Opinion Dismissed. If you Google it, you probably will not find it. I think we have about 3 active listeners. But we just uploaded our third video, I think, or not video, but audio. It's an audio-only podcast. I think our next audio upload is just going to be on the presidential debate, and what we talk about is it's a black guy named Brandon and myself, white guy, and we talk about things that typically a white person wouldn't know and a black person wouldn't know, and we learn from each other. We have fun little interactions, like African trivia.
South Sudan.
Yeah. The Republic of South Sudan.
The Republic is the newest country in the world.
Yeah. We are on SoundCloud. So if you go to SoundCloud, No Opinion Dismissed, you can find it. And yeah, I think our next... We talked about critical race theory before it was even popular. So I feel like we're really early on that. And yeah, and we're willing to take it. We're so small right now. If you have a topic that you want us to cover, we're all about it. So some of the things that we cover outside of race relations is privacy, things like tech, like technology, stuff like Bitcoin. So we try to cover everything that's, I would call, interesting to us, which is pretty much tech, specifically crypto, stuff to do with like current events, and you know. So obviously current events is like Black Lives Matter, protests, riots, all that kind of jive.
Gotcha. Yeah, it was like 2.5 hours. I listened to the whole damn thing.
Our last one was about an hour, so we're getting better. We're going to try to aim for about 45 minutes per show, I believe. But yeah, our first couple ran long, but we're getting better.
All right, so this was sent in about how I move up the corporate ladder in 2020.
At Spotify, everyone just trusts each other and has this culture of it's okay to ask questions even if they might be difficult questions.
Pronouns are kind of a tricky subject for me.
I see.
That I keep going back and forth about kind of what to use where.
Well, I spent about 30 years or so in the closet because my previous employers didn't have any particular tolerance for transgender people.
I like how he's wearing blue on
As a
blue.
blue man?
We have
Yeah.
employee
But he's
resource
still
groups.
bald.
And
Wait,
on
that's not a
Spectrum
wig.
is our LGBTQ plus employee
I'm a
resource
demon
group.
dying.
At Spotify, having a diverse workforce and being inclusive is important so everyone can feel like themselves at work.
So what we did is to come up with a list of
his
essentially every
nails
medical
blue
procedure
too?
that trans people might
I
need.
think blue is his
Basically,
favorite color. Or
Spotify
sorry,
said,
what was the pronoun for this
we
person?
didn't realize
Blue.
there was a problem there. We'll fix
That was
it.
his pronoun?
And that
It was blue.
was
Hey, blue.
pretty amazing.
I don't think that was his
As of
pronoun. Was it?
2019, we now offer masculinization and feminization treatments
What?
recommended
Treatments?
by the World's Professional
Spotify will
Association for
pay for it.
Transgender Health.
It's not a question of vanity. You know, for someone who needs these things, it's
Do not
really a
stop this
question of
video.
being
I
able
wanna
to
watch the whole thing.
perceive, you know, as themselves.
What's up,
At
Blue?
Spotify, everyone's part of Spotify. Everyone's a member of the band, and everyone is determined to help everyone else who needs it.
My advice is don't be afraid. There's nothing wrong with knowing who you are and where you stand.
Part of what I'm doing here is trying to be visible so people who are like me know that they're not alone.
I wonder if there's other colors there.
They definitely, no offense to anyone, but they definitely didn't have any pretty transgender people. You see some people that are fairly good looking as a transgender. Like you're like, oh, I really, like, hey, like you see like the lady boys or in Thailand, and you can't tell, or some of the people who really fix themselves up. in terms of like makeup and boob job or whatever, and it didn't seem like they had any of those at Spotify, at least in the video. But one thing I do like about that video is I love the fact that they felt comfortable saying all that stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Good for them. It's a brave new world.
I love that about people being able to come out of the closet or whatever.
Beauty's on the inside. Tidwell.
Yeah, I haven't seen their insides yet. I'm sure, but on a positive note, I think it's kind of weird that Spotify came up with that video, but I like their stance on letting people do whatever the hell they want.
You think if you were a CEO, would you pay for some, like, say you were a CEO of a big fucking company, would you pay for some of your employees' transitions?
Probably, because it's probably a tax deduction. So, I mean, everything is a tax deduction, and I would, however good you want to say people are, I think it's always about the money. And when I say it's always about the money, I mean, like, even going full circle, like, this is going to be good for our reputation, which will then drive dollars. If it wasn't, if it ultimately didn't end up with more money, I don't think people would just be all hunky-dory without it somehow relating to public relations with people like, oh, I want to use Spotify now because they're pro-LGBT, and they know that. It's like it's marketing.
Yeah.
It's a part of their PR campaign. So, I don't hate them for it. I think it's good. I think that's what it is.
Yeah. Would you vote for Oprah, and why?
Oprah Winfrey?
Yeah. What other Oprah do you know?
For president? Is she running?
I don't think so. Not this year.
Then what are we voting for her about?
I don't know.
Like if she ran for president?
Yeah.
You know what? I have no idea what her policies are, and if she's going to give everyone a car.
Yeah, that's true.
Maybe that's.
'Tis the season, right?
Maybe that's not such a bad idea.
That's true.
I don't know. I need more information.
I wonder what Bitcoin.com's gender diverse policy is. Yeah, that's a good question. Ask Roger about that one.
What do you think he would say? Or you maybe you shouldn't say anything.
Yeah, I'll abstain. So here's some futures for Bitcoin Cash. Right now the ABC fork is worth 0.18 BCH, which is about $40, and Bitcoin Cash node is 0.818, which is $181.
So tell me why you think there's such a
whoa, we got some action in the markets.
They're watching this podcast. They're trying to make you not look as good.
There's actually a lot of volume for this. I mean, it's not, but like relative.
So what makes you think the tax fork is 20% of the total?
Because who wants to be forced to pay developers to use the chain?
Well, then who's the 20%?
People that think it's somehow economic. It makes incentive sense. Like that's so.
Who besides the developers?
There's like a couple people, but like
okay, Steelman me.
So Steelman it brings the economic incentives in line, because if you're getting paid a percentage of the Coinbase, you're gonna want that value to go up more, so you get paid more. And the miners aren't sent, and it makes sense because the miners are using the ABC software, so you should pay to use the software.
Okay. How does that make you feel?
Like it's the funds are going to a central authority, and they have a shitload of power on the chain at that point, and that's kind of ruins the whole ethos of Bitcoin about being decentralized.
What if there was a voluntary recommended tax?
Yeah, go for it.
Why didn't they?
Did
they try that route?
I mean, they tried to do fundraising and stuff, but nobody wanted to give them money. And now they're like trying to put this tax in.
I mean, if no one's willing to give you money for something, why wouldn't you just quit doing it?
Good question. Because you found a way to get money,
Okay.
so you might as well.
So what I'm trying to say is these 20% of people that are willing to go with this fork, why didn't they just give money, every so often to some of the developers?
Probably,
and then to keep everyone together.
Probably because
Tragedy of the commons kind of thing.
Yeah. And so here's somebody who supports ABC actually in my chat right now. Development is always centralized. BCHN is trying to take over the crown of centralized development from ABC. So, and I kind of
ABC is which one?
the 20% one, the incumbent.
Okay, and what's the tax percent? What
Like
percent roughly?
82% price wise right now. 80%.
No, I'm talking about what tax are they?
8% of the
8%.
Coinbase.
So technically, it'd be funny. It'd be easier to think about if this went to 92% or 0.92, and the other one went to 0.08, and then it'd be, hey, there's your 8%.
Yeah.
But
So I
you asked for your 8%. Here it is. You got 8% of the total value of Bitcoin Cash.
Yeah. And so I get where he's saying development is always centralized because there's always somebody that has to to commit the change, right? Somebody has to put it in the code, right? And I think for a while Bitcoin Cash actually was centralized because ABC did control it so much. And so, but now there's like these actual other teams that aren't agreeing and kind of split off because Bitcoin Cash Node is a direct fork of ABC.
I think so. I think that gets a little bit weird, complicated, because technically speaking, I think it's not necessarily so black and white when it comes to, or cut and dry. Sorry, black and white. That's not good terminology nowadays. That's politically edgy now, right?
Yeah, calm down with those colors.
So it's not always so cut and dry when it comes to what's centralized in terms of code repos, because I can start my own fork of a code repo. I can make changes. I can run my node under, with this code base, and it could still be in consensus with everyone else. Potentially I could do something that breaks stuff, but then you're not in consensus, right? And if you use soft forks, then as long as you do soft forks or whatever, I mean, obviously, as the more you diverge, the more chances there are for fuck ups, right? But it's kind of hard to say. Like, for instance, I go back to BTC. BTC has 3 versions of the node that I know about that are fairly popular, at least ones that I've looked at and run, like BTCD, Bitcoin D, stuff like that. And I could on GitHub I can fork this, or I could just rebase completely to like a new project, or whatever. And it's like, is it centralized? Well, maybe this repo, I can't push that one, but I can push my own and I can run this. So it's, I don't know, it's a little, it's kind of a gray spot in my opinion.
Yeah, it's definitely an interesting discussion.
But like, if I'm trying to withdraw money from my bank account from Wells Fargo, I can't just say, like it's like the concept of me not going through Wells Fargo is completely foreign, right?
Yeah.
That's more like centralized.
Yeah, makes sense. And so what will happen when the BCHN gang starts disagreeing on another fork? My favorite crypto project is going to shit with these dev squabbles. Well, that's where consensus comes in. Miners run what they want. I mean, that's how Bitcoin always worked, is that if you really don't agree on something, you fork. So maybe if there's something that's really crazy enough to warrant a fork, then a fork will happen. And that's true with any crypto project. That's how open source works.
Given infinite amount of time, there will be infinite forks.
Yes, wise. Enough monkeys at the keyboard, right?
I mean, Bitcoin BTC will continue to fork.
Yeah.
One of those forks will be called BTC.
Yeah.
And one will not.
And probably the one worth more will be called BTC.
Until it's not. Given an infinite time, that's not going to be true.
Infinite time, wow.
It's
a long time.
Blockchain's going for a long time.
I hate all the splitting. I wish Hugs could help.
I like that. I like that comment. Who said that?
I think that's. I was on her show. It's her
Web,
and another
Web3 TV.
It's her and
They
another
sound
guy.
like an Ethereum person.
It's Mind Your Biz is the show. Nice fellows, but she has an SLP token that's called Hugs.
Oh, she's not an Ethereum person?
No, she's
Because you know what Web3 is, right?
Web3.
Like the Ethereum stuff.
Vaguely.
Maybe I'm wrong. I don't know what I'm talking
Are you
about.
talking about Ethereum too? ETH 2?
I thought Web3 was Ethereum, like an Ethereum phrase.
Oh, I don't know.
Okay, whatever.
All I know is it's 18 months away from shipping. Nicole. So I guess I never actually. Okay, Nicole.
Is that one of those things where it's always 18 months away from shipping?
Yeah.
Got it.
Too. Yeah. You know, one of those things. You know.
Except Lightning now. You can't say that about Lightning. It's 6 months away now.
6 months.
It's not 18 months anymore.
All right. So speaking about Lightning. Mahaksogan, that's where I started. Yeah, there's actually NFTs on Bitcoin Cash too, but I think there's been NFTs on like BTC for a while too. It's just a matter of like getting that front end.
Like
right?
through Counterparty?
Yeah. I mean, it's like relatively straightforward on Bitcoin. I mean, it's just, I mean, from my high level, you just put it in the op return, right?
Yeah, it's how it's a messaging system.
Right.
Decentralized messaging system to keep track of what's going on.
Yeah, see? Rare Pepe was the original NFT. And I think that was on BTC, wasn't it?
Was there something before Rare Pepe? I would want to say that Counterparty had stuff probably way before Rare Pepe, but I would say Rare Pepe probably made it popular for sure, like what Mike's saying.
Oh. Yeah, the Hugs token girl, Nicole, said she started on ETH. What is this? Specs of Gem...
So for the Web3 TV, Nicole, are you happy now? Like, have you moved away from ETH, and has that made you like seeing the light, or do you still feel like, hey, there's a lot of good things on both sides? Or be curious if you could answer that.
She's the first one I've seen excited about NFTs on BCH. It's like she comes from, yeah. I'm interested in your question too, because it's you don't see very many people coming from other crypto projects to Bitcoin Cash, sadly, unless it's BTC, like because of fees. But like usually they don't gravitate to Bitcoin Cash. I don't really know why. Maybe it's the constant drama and bitching, or I'm not sure.
Speaking of fees, man, I haven't looked at the mempool in like over a month.
Fees.
Because I've been using so much Lightning, I haven't even had to worry about fees.
You already have all your channels stocked?
Yeah, it's kind of like buying in early on a token.
On a Ponzi?
As long as you have your channels open, you're fine. You
Yeah,
just don't
that's
want to be the last one to open up a channel. So yeah, so the mempool, so it looks like BTC is nothing to complain about. It looks like the mempool cleared many times today in the morning. Right now it's got a little bit of a thing, but it hasn't been like a... Let's go to the week.
Yeah, it's funny how it always peaks like at like, what is that, like noon or something? Let's see, right now is 21, 22. So 7 hours ago? About 3.
Yeah, I think as long as you have the mempool clearing every so often, and that's obviously relative, then that's a good thing. Because I don't think right now, this is my opinion, I could obviously make fun of me if you think otherwise, but I don't think that right now it'd be healthy for a 2017 kind of run up in terms of a prolonged, hey, between like 1 and 5 to 10 Satoshi per byte transactions are not going to clear in the next few months. I think that's kind of not such a good thing for Bitcoin at the moment.
Well, yeah, months for sure.
You know, like right now, if you can clear a 1 Satoshi per byte like once every month or once a week, then I think it's a super healthy system. Like in terms of minimum kind of require, obviously, I'm not talking about ideal. I'm just talking about like what constitutes like, hey, what's acceptable in my opinion.
So you're okay with the transaction just like sitting there for like a week?
Yeah, if you're willing to pay the lowest fee. Like lowest fee possible, yeah.
So you think like a couple bucks per transaction to like get it through fast is acceptable?
Yeah. I mean, it depends though, because when we talk about the fees, at what point does a fee become a couple bucks? How many Satoshis per byte?
I think it's like 40, 50.
40, 50. So what's...
I think. I don't quote me on that.
Well, we can do the math, right? So if we say the average...
Are we doing a studio in show? No, he's definitely at his own house He all my equipment broke, and he bought his own. So yeah. And so Nicole said she's
So at 40 Satoshis per byte, we're roughly at a dollar.
okay.
So $1, I mean, so yeah, depending on how much you're moving, let's say you move over $100, I would say we're starting to get into pretty acceptable range. If you're moving less than $100, it starts to get, whoa, you know, I paid over 1%, you know?
Is Bitcoin for people that live on less than $2 a day?
Depends. Right now, I would say no. Unless you're using some kind of like hosted Lightning Network channel or something like that, where you can make it real easy for someone to onboard and transact in a very small amount of Bitcoin.
So,
But then you go to the hybrid custodial model, right?
right.
Yeah.
So you don't think like those people underserved in Africa, for example, you don't think they deserve the same amount of security as you?
I mean, I think if anyone in Africa is interested in Bitcoin, I would at least hope that their worth that they want to transact in and around Bitcoin would be over $100 USD. If it's not, then I don't think Bitcoin's the best, necessarily the best route for them. In terms of if the fees are high,
What should they do then?
either do some kind of hybrid custodial model or use something else.
You just use Lightning?
Yeah, they could. I mean, but the problem with Lightning right now is since it's still, you know, more immature than on chain, you're going to have less things supporting it.
Mm-hmm.
So it could be, you know, 18 months before it's super well supported everywhere.
You were just supposed to say they should use Bitcoin Cash.
I wanted you to say it. I was trying to give you an alley oop. I was like trying to set you up for the dunk.
So I'm actually going to be going to South Sudan.
Really?
I don't know exactly when, but I funded my documentary on Flipstarter.
You're going there because you listen to my podcast? Just be
No,
be
I've
honest.
been planning to go there for a while.
Just be honest. You're going there because I
No.
covered it on my podcast.
No, I'm not. They got like a huge like Bitcoin Cash like community, I guess, over there. And so like,
Would you say they're not using Bitcoin because of the fees?
yes.
There you go. I mean, you have substantial evidence, right? That
I'm gonna die.
BTC isn't for poor people right now.
Yeah, it's not.
But couldn't you argue that BTC is great for rich people? And when I say rich people, I mean like over $100 kind of transactions.
I mean, it's less of a problem to pay $1 if you're transacting in hundreds of dollars. Yeah.
Yeah.
I think nobody can argue that.
Which is most people that are interested in Bitcoin.
Right.
That well, then again, you limit how many people maybe would have been interested, right?
Right.
So it's hard to
Right.
talk about these things.
No, I'm not going to die. I'm going with Lizzie. It's Josh L. Thorpe's girlfriend. She's a white chick. She's lived there for like 10 years.
Oh,
So-
you're dead. You
she-
said white chick in South Sudan?
Yeah, well, she's lived there for 10 years.
I'm just kidding. I don't know what I'm talking about.
Apparently she knows like a ton of people in the government too. Like we can get in there even with all the coronavirus restrictions. So I don't know how.
Because she knows people.
Yeah.
That's cool.
Yeah, exactly. So I'm not actually I'm more worried about Venezuela. 'Cause I'm going to go in there too at some point. But
Yeah,
that's-
you're not coming back from there.
Yeah, exactly.
They're gonna be like, be talking to your friends like, we'll give Colin back if you send us 5 BTC. They're like, we only have Bitcoin Cash. They're like, oh, is that like Bitcoin? Well, actually, it's like Bitcoin, but more like peer-to-peer cash. And they're like, okay, just send us whatever. We don't care.
Wait. Tell me more about this.
Wait, tell me
I live
more.
on $2 a day.
You're going to like start converting the terrorists
Yeah.
and hostage taker, like, you know, like, well, all right, what you really should be asking for is Bitcoin Cash.
Because you know, like where you go spend this money, it's not my business. But like if you're gonna go grocery shopping or something,
And then
you
there's
know,
Cash Fusion.
Yeah, there's Cash
You know, obviously, you know, in the business that you're in, you want to be private. You want to have privacy.
Cash Fusion. Yeah. Speaking of all that shit, I don't know if you saw this. I made a really small tweet there today, but it was like the new government. Switch so you can see. Share my screen now. Cryptocurrency enforcement framework it's from the Attorney General's Cyber Digital Task Force from the U.S. Department of Justice. So they basically just like go through all all the shit about crypto, right? And I'll just pull my thread because it's easier, probably. But it's like a 80-page report on like crypto for like law enforcement.
Dude,
basically.
look at your mustache.
I know you like that.
Where is that mustache? Can you still curl it up like that?
No, that's like
Jesus.
6 months.
You should have never gotten rid of that.
Yeah, well, I got a wife,
That was, if your wife makes you get rid of a mustache like that, you need to reconsider things. Jesus, you made me look good for that Photoshop.
The link is here. But anyways, they talk about Al Qaeda and that.
Shitcoiners.
Look at they have 155 virtual current assets linked to their groups. They're shitcoiners.
They're
man.
gamblers.
Yeah, they're gamblers. They probably got some DeFi in there. Al Qaeda. So
It's like the biggest buyer of Yam token was Al Qaeda.
Al Qaeda.
Who the biggest staker currently is a terrorist group. Terrorist farmers.
Yeah, they have all the governance tokens.
They have like a dash node and
Yeah.
you know.
I'm welcome to the future of finance. And so apparently, like, this was in one page of the report. Like, so there's North Korean hacks of some exchanges. I don't know if you remember this. It was a while ago, but they like did something called like a peel chain, and apparently you just like send Bitcoin to a bunch of different addresses, but then you just like send it all to the same exchange. Like what's the point of that? Like fucking idiots.
I like how it said North Koreans almost. Did you see that?
Almost.
I like how you said almost.
Yeah, because like they know they got to kind of like break it up a little bit, but they didn't quite do it right. And this was an interesting one. So they talk about like Monero, Dash, Zcash, all anonymity enhanced cryptocurrencies.
Anonymity.
Anonymity enhanced.
Anonymity.
And so they would not liquidate these coins because doing so allows them to re-enter the stream of commerce for potential future criminal use.
So they were protected? Wait.
So like if they had Monero, they wouldn't like sell the Monero for US dollars for themselves. They would just like keep the Monero. So the US government is hodling Monero and shit and Zcash.
Oh, that's so weird.
Yeah.
That's so you know that just is so stupid because there's going to be infinite forks of privacy focused coins.
Yeah, I know. That's why it's so ridiculous. Like allows them to re-enter the stream of commerce. Like,
what they're really doing with it is they're like, so you mean we can use this to pay off the Russians?
Yeah, basically.
You know?
Nobody
You
will
mean
know.
we can use this Monero to help destabilize Venezuela even more?
Pretty much. I mean, they talked about the Patreon there too. But yeah, then they mentioned like coin mixing services, like the centralized mixers, you know, that the websites are, but they didn't mention coin joins at all in there. So I thought that was
They
good.
can't give it all away, not all at once.
Right.
I mean, they can't give away the stuff that they use.
Right. You know how the samurai,
Whirlpool.
yeah. I
watched your podcast.
Oh, you did with Daniel? That's it. Like, it's so interesting to me because like you pay one transaction fee and then it's like all just like mixing by itself until you take it out.
Yeah, I don't know how it works.
Yeah, me neither.
And I don't even know who the Samurai Wallet developers are.
Yeah,
Are they anonymous or are they public?
I think most of them are anonymous, or the main guy.
Yeah, I know their Twitter guy, at least when I was following them a year ago, was very vocal about stuff, and he got into a fight with Luke Dash Jr. about something.
Mm-hmm.
That's all I remember. And Luke Dash Jr. Really shat hard on the Samurai Wallet because there's some kind of bug. But that was like 2 years ago, and even still, because they had that bug one time, Luke Dash Jr. calls them scammer, fraudsters.
Scammerai.
Is that... That's kind of funny. Is that
Well,
that something that you came up with?
No, not because now there's a fight between Samurai and Wasabi. Have you seen all that drama? I'm not following it all. I follow like 3 BTC people.
I think like Samurai Wallet people disclosed something, and they believe. I think you covered it.
Yeah, they.
So I think
Dude, you learn everything from calling it like it is. What a great show.
That's I'm your biggest fan. That's why I'm here. I actually was here looking through a window, realized it was the wrong house and went home. And now I'm here. Now I'm here, and you have me in.
Okay. All right. I had some other things I think I wanted.
It's funny. I haven't been on Twitter in a very long time.
Yeah, it's an interesting place to say the least. What's this one? No, this is Minecraft. Yeah, I'm not sure what else. How's your day? I think I need another beer. I'm gonna text the waitress.
It's nice. You have service at your house?
Yeah, I have
Nice.
a computer.
I have to go get it myself sometimes.
computer side
At
service.
my house.
Computer side service. Here, let me. Yeah, I got an app for that.
So do you cut these afterwards or no?
These shows?
Mm-hmm.
No, that's the reason I do it because I don't have to edit.
That's so nice.
Yeah.
No, that's a good thing. It makes life so much. It's like I have a life worth living.
Right.
Why do I care? Why do I care about you, the listener?
No, like that's literally my reasoning is because like I mean obviously I come from a video background. It's my profession, my real job, whatever. And so like I enjoy shooting the most, like going out on location with the camera and shooting. And then like if it's my own video, sometimes I'll edit it, but like I still just like procrastinate so damn much. I mean, you have the internet, right? You can procrastinate however long you want. And so I'm just horrible with that. And over time, I just like grown to hate editing so much. And especially when it's somebody else's, it's just too much.
Do you ever watch yourself?
Yeah, sometimes.
So one thing I noticed when I listen and watch myself, I say a
Yeah.
lot. Now that I'm thinking about it, I'm going to try to not say for the rest of the show, but man,
Yeah, it's tough.
do I catch myself saying this? And I just kind of said it just then.
Yeah,
It's so,
I mean, even there.
yeah.
It's just like filler, right?
Yeah, it's really weird. It's you're trying to say something and you can't think as fast as you want to say or whatever, or your mouth can't move as fast as you're thinking, whatever it might be.
Yeah, I definitely had that in the first couple shows. Probably like 20, 30, 40. I would just say, all the time. I would listen and be like, God, I'm saying that so damn much. Yeah. And I think I've gotten better with it now. But
is it better just to say nothing and just take a pause?
It is.
You sound smarter sometimes, I think.
It's really tough. Yeah. 'Cause it's like you're thinking. Because when you say, you're just like, it's like your brain's nowhere when you're saying,
You know what they say? You know what they say in Spanish?
What?
Pues.
Pues. In Portuguese, they have E-I-E.
E-I-E. I'm going to start doing that one.
E-I-E.
Well, E-I-E, I think. E-I-E.
I actually know E-I-E is like, and then, that's what E-I-E is.
E-I-E.
E-I-E.
That sounds like anime.
What do they say in China, Mike, in space? What do they say in space?
What do they say in space?
Actually, nothing. Transaction highway shows an increase in transaction volume today. Oh my God. Are we past 0.1 transaction per second? It's so sad watching Bitcoin Cash on this site. You know the site, right?
So why do you think?
I probably showed you.
Why do you think? Why do you think there's so few users of Bitcoin Cash versus BTC Bitcoin?
It's just network effect.
Is that the only reason? Is this? They look like South Park people.
Have you seen this before?
I have a very long time ago.
Yeah,
I think they
been
way updated it.
So there's Ethereum now, right? And there's BTC, and people use Bitcoin Cash. I don't know.
Wait, is that supposed to be the SegWit sign?
Yeah. So this is a SegWit trailer.
That's funny.
So obviously ETH blocks come like all the time. So it's like little tiny buses.
No,
This
people
one's
are
48 guai.
People are coming out of them too.
It's flying, dude. Yeah, because they get kicked out because they don't pay high enough gas.
Oh, is that what's happening?
Yeah.
Imagine
BTC too,
getting on the bus and then someone's like, "No, come on."
Yeah, I paid more. See, that's why I'm in BTC. These guys only pay 6 cents per V-byte. And so, yeah, 48 guai. Thank you.
Okay.
What a great app I have.
Yeah.
My waitress
Hey,
app.
Colin, I want to go grab a beer real quick
All right,
from my
cool,
fridge.
thanks.
I'll be right back.
All right.
All right, I'm back.
Yeah, that was quick.
Yeah, thantes.
You got another Corona?
I did.
Yeah, me
How'd
too.
you? Dude, cheers.
I love me some Corona.
Cheers. Wait, hold on. Yeah, we have to make it at least look like it. Yeah. Wait. Boom. Yeah. Clink. Yeah, that's
All
great.
right. In China, it's China Niga. Oh God. In Japan, they use Anyo. Anyo. China is Niga. Niga. That's a nice one. So yeah, the Bitcoin Cash one is what's our transactions per second looking like today? Oh, 0.16. See the Bitcoin Cash one is like sad.
So Bitcoin, answer me this. Why do people pay more than 1 Satoshi per byte on Bitcoin Cash?
Probably just like legacy wallets that haven't updated.
Okay. Why would I remember one time I was looking at Bitcoin Cash, and obviously the blocks aren't going to get full. It's a big old bus, and people are paying more than 1 Satoshi per byte, and I just couldn't understand it.
Yeah, it's a big. Look at that bus. Man, Jesus Christ, it's a big old bus.
That's a big bus. That's a big bus right there.
That's a big old bus.
I want the coin with the bigger bus.
Yeah, right. It's cheaper too.
How big are the rims?
Yeah,
You could attract people
you could
based
have
on the
your
rim
own
size.
That's true. You could have a giant room in there. And this one has.
Is it a big limousine?
I think it's just like a standard bus.
Like imagine
I
like
think it's
Roger
like a
Vere's in there with a disco ball, and it's like all like fluffy couches wrapped around, and there's like a dance hall, and
I think it's more like a school bus.
there's a bar in there.
I think it's just a really old school bus.
It's not yellow though.
It's green.
The trailer, that's where they put the bad kids.
The Segwit kids. Go in the trailer. I think that's just the luggage. They put the luggage in there.
So, correct me if I'm wrong.
Big M.
The largest block possible for Bitcoin right now with SegWit is 4 megabytes.
I think
that
it's
would
like
be
2.7. Has there been?
Well, I'm
Is
talking
it-
theoretical.
Okay.
So theoretically, if it was like one big SegWit transaction or something, they could be like 4 megabytes. But more realistically, the average block size is between 1.5 and 2 or something
Yeah.
like that.
Yeah.
If people, and this goes back to SegWit 2x, if people understood, granted they might have understood this, if people understood that the block size effectively was going to get increased, but virtually through virtual bytes, essentially, do you think as many people would have wanted to fork if they understood, like, hey, Bitcoin can hit like 2 megabytes?
Well, no, that was already SegWit was already advertised as a scaling thing during that time.
Okay, so you think enough people already knew and it would have made a difference?
Yeah, I mean they wanted to do the 2x thing anyways.
Okay, I got you.
Which is a whole nother story.
Yeah.
But yeah. It's a Vare party with 5 people in a giant bus.
So the compromise there would have been SegWit plus 2 megabyte block, which would have really been
double whatever it is now. Yeah.
8 theoretical, and then probably realistically 3 to 4 megabytes.
Yeah.
Cap.
Yeah. But there was never like any actual software to run for that, so it just like never went through, even though so many miners were signaling for it. And the whole, no.
Do you remember what the percentage of signalers were?
It was like 90% plus. It might have been like 95 even. It was a lot.
Was 2x?
Yeah. But there's just like no software to run.
Do you think that's weird. It was over 90%, huh?
Mm-hmm.
Why do you think it didn't? Why do you think less people went to Bitcoin Cash? I think is my question. I mean, why do you think Bitcoin Cash didn't win the BTC ticker?
Because of the propaganda.
Yeah, but propaganda cuts both ways.
Yeah, one side was better at it.
Ah, okay. So BTC sides, they were better propaganders.
Yeah.
Is that a word?
Propagandists.
Propaganders.
I like propaganders better though. That's nice.
Propaganders. You have the political parties in Bitcoin. You have the propaganders. You have the right hearts.
The right hearts, yeah.
Yeah, the right hearts. You have the queer beers.
Queer beers.
The queer bears, the right hearts, and the propaganders.
The propaganders.
I don't know. I'm just making up potential political parties for Bitcoin.
Propaganders. Yeah, I mean, honestly, I think it's all from the, like...
So you think it's just propaganda?
I really do. I really
so
do.
who tell me your theories. I mean, they don't have to be conspiracy theories. They can just be your theories on
So the first, like
what you know, and
the first... I'll show you the first, like, proper propaganda.
the proper propaganda.
Peter Todd. Proper.
Oh, this is a respectable person. I like this guy.
If you think so.
Open timestamps creator.
Keeping Bitcoin free, actually.
He created some opcode, I think.
So this is the very first one. It was like fucking...
The first time I saw Peter Todd, I had no idea who he was. I was like, who is this guy?
Well, if it's talking about Bitcoin
getting all hyped up about Bitcoin. Is Peter Todd still active?
I think so.
He used to be super active, and that's when he really hit my radar, like in 2013 and 2014 and stuff. I feel like he's kind of chilled out a little bit since then. Maybe I'm wrong.
This is their channel name. Keep Bitcoin free. 7 years ago, 2013, why the block size limit keeps Bitcoin free and decentralized.
When they say free, what do they mean? Like freedom free?
You'll see.
Okay.
Yeah, probably freedom though. Oh, I have this fucking site muted.
You all know Bitcoin. It's our secure, inflation-proof, decentralized currency. You make a transaction and it gets published to the global Bitcoin network. Bitcoin nodes all around the world forward that information to each other. Until seconds later, the whole world knows about your transaction. Every node, even yours, validates the transaction and ensures it follows all the rules.
Yikes, YouTube.
Colin, are you there?
Bitcoin has a built-in limit of 1 megabyte data per block, or 7 transactions per second. The transaction then goes onto one blockchain.
One
As
blockchain.
you know, Bitcoin has become very popular. Unfortunately, supply and demand will cause fees to increase over time, which means small
high is it
value
gonna go?
transactions just won't be practical. The easy thing to do is just have everyone change their software to accept bigger blocks all at once. Fees would go down, but you will need an expensive data center to run a node, and you won't be able to do it anonymously. Mining pools will be forced to close due to rising costs and regulations. What's left are large, powerful and regulated pools controlling what transactions happen at all. Doesn't that look like banking today? This is not the Bitcoin we know and love. We have an alternative to increasing the block size: off-chain transactions. The block size stays the same, and mining stays decentralized. You'll still use the blockchain for large transactions. Small exchanges will be handled by payment processors, which means small purchases like your morning
Jesus Christ, YouTube. Hey there. Hey.
coffee
Hey, I'm
don't
back.
clog the whole system up. We can use the very same cryptography that makes Bitcoin secure to audit off-chain payment systems, as well as effectively make it impossible to get away with fraud or theft. Imagine a plexiglass bank where you can easily observe the inner workings. Unlike the completely public blockchain where you can't pick who mines your transactions or who you trust to do validation, off-chain transactions can be both instant, truly private, and you have complete control over who to trust. What can you do to keep Bitcoin decentralized? If you're a miner, only mine at pools that support the block size limit and ask your pool to publicly say so. If you are a user, ignore anyone trying to change the Bitcoin software you use to
No 5
increase the
megabytes.
1 megabyte block size, and tell people you transact with that you support keeping Bitcoin decentralized and out of the hands of the existing corporate system. Remember, Bitcoin is democratic, and the only way the block size can change is if we agree to let that happen.
KeepBitcoinFree.org.
Okay, so there's some stuff to digest here and to talk about.
Yeah. So, background on this video, it was...
Oh, wow, look at all the dislikes.
Yeah, welcome to pre-censorship Bitcoin.
Jeez. I was probably one of those dislikes back then.
Our Bitcoin was like this too, was fully in support of big blocks until the censorship happened.
Wow. It's got more dislikes than it has likes.
Yeah.
You know, what's funny is I feel like if that was going to happen, you would just make likes disabled. You know?
You'd think. And so the background on this was Peter Todd was commissioned by this guy named John Dillon. Have you heard of John Dillon before?
I want to say I have, but I can't put a finger on it.
Well, he was this anonymous guy who only talked to Peter Todd, and he also helped put in Replace by Fee. Was this John Dillon guy, and he said he was previously in intelligence. Like,
is John Dillon really just Peter Todd?
Probably not. But anyway,
Okay.
John Dillon
Gotcha.
made this video with Peter Todd.
So John Dillon was the one who had the British accent.
Sure.
Her, they.
When Beers was up, Daniel, we got him right here, bro. Jesus.
Okay, so there's some stuff to talk about with this. I'd be interested to hear your opinion.
Yeah.
So one of the big points in there was, we start raising the block size. It starts to become harder to run. We need data centers. First, let's just talk about that. Do you agree with that? Do you agree with that premise?
With the premise, yes, but the values they use completely no.
When you say with the values they use, what does that mean?
They had a little icon that was like 5 megabytes, 7 megabytes. Like, no way it's getting even close to data centers at that rate.
At what point is it data centers?
I would probably say a couple hundred megabytes.
A couple hundred meg.
But even though, like, it's not even like data centers at that point. It's like propagation, right?
You mean like bandwidth?
Yeah.
Like, so
Like
network.
block propagation, yeah, like network.
Okay. So the one good part about, data centers is usually they have direct lines to each other, and,
Right.
they can propagate terabits very quickly.
Right.
So
Right. I mean, yeah, obviously if you have a terabyte block, like, yeah,
I
obviously.
say terabits as if it's like a
No.
real thing. I don't even know if that's a thing.
But yeah, if you're getting to like couple
Gigawatts.
if you're getting in a couple gigawatts worth of blocks, then yeah, you probably need some data centers.
So, but you would say right now with the tech of today, the threshold is about 100 megabits or 100 megabytes right now, kind of threshold.
Yeah, I mean, I guess it's subjective on who you think should be able to run, like what type of person should be able to run a node. I don't think like running a node off a satellite is important. Like I don't think somebody in the middle of the desert should need to run a node. I mean, if they need Bitcoin, just fucking run SPV, right? And so like I think a home desktop computer should be able to run a node.
All right, let's do quick maths.
Quick maths.
So about 50. Well, you want to round up to 53? 53,000
53,000
blocks a year.
Sure.
All right, so 53,000 blocks a year, just as a round number. Okay.
All right.
And then let's say they're all full at 20 megabytes. What's
Sure.
the current size for Bitcoin Cash?
32.
30. You want to do 32?
Sure.
Okay, so 32 times 53,000. Okay.
That misses 0.
So we're at 1.6 million megabytes.
Which is 1.6 terabytes, right?
Yeah, so
Yeah.
megabytes, gigabytes, terabytes, 1.6 terabytes.
Which-
1.7. You want to just round up to 1.7?
Which honestly isn't a lot. Like this suitcase I have right here,
Mhm.
that has probably like 30 terabytes on, like
Can you-
in there.
I'm just going to imagine I can see the suitcase.
Yeah. Yeah, dude. Yeah. A 2 terabyte hard drive goes for like $100 right now. But anyways,
So right now,
so storage is no
1.7 terabytes per year.
Yeah.
Okay. So I mean, if that's okay, then that's okay. But how big is the? I would be curious if if someone said 1.7 terabytes a year, how could you think, like something where they're of the opinion that that would be like way too much, data, and they could back it up. But who's done the research there that and like actually made it digestible? Has anyone?
Like what would
Like
be
like
needed
like game
for-
theory of, if we had this size blocks and we propagated this much, this is what the world would look like. This is what your node would look like. This is how much bandwidth you would need if you want to run a node at your house. Has anyone done this kind of
like an easily digestible
Yeah.
format? I'm not sure exactly now that you say that.
I mean, I made a website called idealblockscize.com a long time ago, and it kind of helped you do the math on, like you just said, how how big the block was going to be and stuff, and it would tell you like how many gigawatts per year.
Gigawatts per year. But yeah, it's more about like the propagation. I think it's more about your internet speeds, because 2 terabytes a year is absolutely fucking nothing to me. Like, I don't think that should even be a concern to anybody. If you're trying to run a Bitcoin node and you can't afford $100 hard drive a year, like, are you even a cypherpunk?
So yeah, you need about 5.5 gigabytes per day, and that's well. See, here's the problem. If you're going to be running a node and you also want to propagate stuff and not just download, then it's going to be more than
Right, you're up
5.5.
to-
You're gonna
Right.
it's going to be a variable kind of
Right.
amount. So it
Right, because
roughly,
it's only every 10 minutes anyways.
yeah.
So how much is it per block?
But you also have
I
a
mean-
mempool, and you're going to be doing
Right,
transactions
right,
and
right.
passing random things around as well. Like there's probably like things like outside of the blocks and block, like block lists and all kinds of like random little bits of data. So you'd have some kind of variable amount. But if you roughly go off of like 5 gigabytes a day with 32 megabyte blocks, those people in Africa, man, they might struggle.
Yeah, but I never said they had to run a node.
They, is with BTC, they want everyone to run it,
Right.
right? So
Which I think, like, if 10% of people can run a node, I think that's fine. I mean, that's a random number, pull out of math, but like,
you said 10%.
yeah.
I think that's a pretty optimistic percent. I mean, right now with BTC, it's probably way less than 10%, right?
Right. I mean, I'm talking about like able to, right?
Yeah.
Because obviously, and not everybody's going to.
Yeah, but there's a certain point where like costs and effort can start diminishing how many people run nodes. So
Right.
even with Bitcoin, it's supposed to be easy, right? But you have about 10,000 nodes, or I don't know how many nodes are there.
Sounds about right.
Okay, maybe less, maybe like 8,000. I don't know. So if you start making it where, hey, I need to buy a 2 terabyte, SSD every year, and have some kind of setup where I can put this in parallel and just kind of easily install it into my rig. After like 5-6 years, like, well, I'm gonna have to. I can't just keep adding more hard drives. I need to get a new computer setup completely. You potentially to run a Bitcoin node, if I want to be like that hardcore user that runs it just at my house.
Yeah.
We're talking
Server rack.
Yeah, not necessarily a server rack, not necessarily, but like a nice rig, right?
Yeah.
Equivalent to like a gaming PC, but
Right.
just for like, with a ton of SSDs essentially,
Right.
and instead of GPUs.
But Mike says prune nodes are fine.
Well, there you go.
UTXO commitments.
Yeah, I mean, if you don't want if you want the prune, so the prune nodes are just is he just talking about the headers? Because the funny thing is a prune node in Bitcoin, it's not like Ethereum. You can't recreate all the transactions.
Well, I think more
You only hold the headers.
I think the UTXO commitments are probably like a better concept. You know what those are, right? It's where like basically you only hold.
I've heard about them.
You only hold the UTXOs that have values
Yeah, heard about
and
those.
get rid of all the old ones.
So if you just want to hold on to UTXOs and just like block headers, you're essentially becoming like a neutrino node,
Yeah.
and which is what the Breeze wallet, like for Lightning, does.
Uh-huh.
So you could potentially have in terms of like a node that just is able to verify stuff. In terms of verifying, you could do that completely on your own on your phone.
Yeah.
You don't need like a big setup for that.
Right.
Even if the blocks maybe even got big, right? Because the block headers are going to stay at 32 bytes.
Right. Those are tiny.
Which is, very small. A fully validating node is a neutrino node, Mike.
He says a prune node is still a fully validating node. You just throw away blocks after you validated.
Yeah, that's. I mean, a neutrino node can fully validate. Every node relies on peers, Mike.
If you don't rely on your
but if
peers.
we're just talking about if we're just talking about verifying stuff, you can verify stuff if you have a transaction, you can verify it belongs in a header because you have the header, you have the block header, and then you can verify that this transaction exists in this Merkle root via the neutrino peer, right? But you don't need to trust that peer. But it's still, I guess you're trying to say you can download all the blocks and then just delete the blocks afterwards. Yeah, you could, but you don't need to do that. All you need to do, Mike, is verify the proof of work, which is all contained within the header. So that means you actually don't need to download the whole block. All you need to do is verify that this header is valid, and you can do that completely without any transactions. So there's no need to download the whole block if you just want to verify the chain.
So, I mean, given all that math, like, I know it's this weird balance of like too big, too small, like Goldilocks situation, right? I mean, you have BSV that's doing its crazy fucking shit.
Well, BSV is even smaller than BCH, isn't it?
Yeah, actually, percentage-wise, not by a huge. It's more than 50% of BCH. It's like one. Let me check it out. It's I mean, it's got billionaire backing, so it's not going to fall into irrelevance.
Is Calvin really a billionaire?
Yeah, definitely.
For how long?
$164 right now.
Oh, Bitcoin's almost to 11K.
Oh wow, it's pumping. But yeah, I mean, whatever the Goldilocks zone is for the block size, I don't think it's at 1 megabyte. I think what happened in 2017 when the fees went up above $1, like that should have never happened. The block size should have gone up at least a 2, at least a 4. Like no significant performance will happen on the nodes going up that little bit, and your user experience would have been just fine, and you wouldn't have lost all these merchants and shit. And so that right there, like the simple stubbornness to never move that block size up, even a small amount to relieve some of that fee pressure, I think was like the thing that killed it for me.
I do want to say one thing. If the blockchain did get to like 10 terabytes, so let's say roughly it grew about a terabyte per year, so less than 32 megabytes, but about 15 megabytes per year. Or sorry, 15 megabytes per block, every block being full. One thing I do like about Bitcoin is I can download a full node, like what Mike's saying, I can prune it. So that means not only am I downloading the headers, but I'm verifying the headers, right? As Mike was implying. I can do that right now with Bitcoin. As I think that's more of like a technologically hobbyist kind of cool thing.
You're talking about like the initial block download?
Mm-hmm.
Just do middle out compression.
Yeah.
I mean, I think it's
I think it's a very cool,
yeah, sure,
sexy kind of like, wow, I really feel cool about this. Other than that, I don't know, but what that video was talking about was the bigger the blockchain gets, the more easily it's regulated, the harder it is to run. Once you get it to where, hey, I have to run this on Amazon or Google Cloud or DigitalOcean or whatever, and I find it hard to not agree with the video, and I can get flack for that, but I lean to say that that could it could happen right now, even without it, even with the blocks being small. But I think it gets more easy the more, the less nodes and the harder it is. I would just say this. It has really nothing to do with how hard it is to run node, but the less people who run nodes, the easier it is to potentially something really bad happens, right?
Yeah, but I mean,
There's some kind of threshold.
right.
It could be 100 nodes. It could be 50 nodes. It could be 1,000 nodes. It could be, we don't have enough right now.
Right. I mean, I think
Yeah.
if you
You only know when it's too late.
right, and I don't think
Yeah.
1 megabyte is even close to being too late.
Yeah, I would say a lot of the concern is better safe than sorry kind of mentality.
Right.
Yeah.
And I get it, but it's just
Yeah.
like you kill your user base.
I think the worst thing for Bitcoin would be
To lose
no
the-
other options, right? Like if people had to use it, because there just simply isn't the capacity, right?
Yeah.
At least not right now.
Yeah.
I've talked to, I think, every Illuminati member of Bitcoin to some extent, and I don't think anyone disagrees with raising the block size when it becomes just absurdly easier. Like I have 10 terabytes on my phone, like that kind of mentality where the Luke Dash Jr. idea of, right now a block should be smaller, but it increases based on this kind of cost formula and, whatever, right? I don't think anyone's opposed. Like, I think all the people who are of the opinion that, I would say this, all the maximalists who say it should be 1 megabyte forever, I think those people are a little bit delusional.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. I even the funny thing is I think every maximalist now at one point thought it was a good idea to raise the block size, right? Like Jimmy Song, right? Jimmy Song was pro hard forks not too long ago.
Mm-hmm.
Did you know that?
I don't think so.
Yeah. So, I mean, a lot of these people, change their opinions. Either they learn new things or
they're just grifting to the
or they're pandering
to
or
the user
whatever.
base.
Yeah. Or they're learning new things and they change their opinion. But I think the idea that on-chain isn't going to get better eventually based on technological improvements. Technological, is that a word?
Yeah.
Okay, good. I think it's, to me, the main thing stopping that in the future will just be religion, right? At this point, it's almost like a religion for the 1 megabyte, cap with SegWit. It's almost just become a religion that people are defending for the sake of defending it. They don't even know why. In the future, it's going to be, Dad, why do we have 1 megabyte blocks that are kind of variable and sometimes they're 2 megabytes? And they're going to be like, well, son, our founding fathers, Greg Maxwell and Peter Willey.
On pictures on the wall.
Yeah. And, at that point, it's like, okay, well, there isn't going to be a reason, right? There is going to be no reason for it. So, the only thing that would stop it from raising in the future, and when I say in the future, 5, 10, 20 years from now, right? If it's still 1 megabyte, would be religion.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, I could very easily see in 10, 20 years from now.
What if I told you that religion's already here?
No, it is.
Yeah.
Religions die. We don't. I mean, Athens don't necessarily believe in the Greek gods anymore.
Yeah, that's true.
So, and as you see with these maximalists, they're flip floppers, right? They all you need is Peter Willey or Greg Maxwell to say, we've done the math and we've done the research. Luke Dash Jr. comes up with an article or something and says, hey, because of this improvement with this hard drive and this CPU and this memory, it's now okay to have more disk space. And everyone will be like, see, this whole time I've told you we should have bigger blocks.
Yeah.
And it's going to be very hypocritical, and it's going to happen, I think. That's my theory. I could be wrong. The religion might overtake itself. The religion might be this feedback loop where you do it for the sake of doing it,
mm-hmm.
right? Which is what happens sometimes, right?
Mm-hmm.
I think there's probably some examples of that where the monkey gets zapped if it touches the banana. Then they bring another monkey into the room, and when he touches, all the monkeys get zapped, and then when this, and finally a new monkey comes in, and before he touches the banana, all the monkeys beat him up.
Yeah.
because they don't want to get zapped.
Right.
It's just like this feedback loop kind of, like people don't, the new monkey's like, what the hell's going on?
Yeah. I'm gonna go eat an apple. Yeah. Yeah. I mean, I agree with you on that stuff. On the future of it. I don't know. It's like maxis have this like way too long of a time preference. I think like, oh, it will fix it in the future, like someday, and like.
Well, that's why we have alternatives. May the best chain win. If it really happens where you drag your feet and you're not fast enough and something overtakes you, so be it, right?
Yeah. Hasn't happened yet. But not. So.
But you're early enough to play both sides, Colin. That's my advice to you.
You think I'm not?
No. It's advice that
I'm not playing. I see you are though. You want a lot of Bitcoin Cash.
I didn't even know it till you.
Yeah, you're just going not anymore.
Fucking selling that for Ethereum YAM tokens later.
Wait for the airdrop on November 15th to get free ABC coin.
Yeah. Okay.
Fuck. I lost what I was gonna ask you.
Bitcoin is a religion, though. Reading the chat.
I think I have $1 of BTC on my Bitcoin.com wallet, but like, since Roger hates BTC, you can't like push the fee down, so it's kind of stuck there. Actually, I don't think that's true anymore. Let me look.
The price of BCH would be $225K if the blocks were full.
If 32 megabyte blocks are full and being used.
Yeah, it's probably not wrong.
I mean, at this point, I see the bottleneck for Bitcoin Cash as being adoption. Like, they can make all the cool tech shit they want. It's like none of it matters if nobody's using the thing.
Well, I mean, it would still have a limit, right? You can't.
Well, yeah,
you
of course. But like, I'm saying, like right now.
Yeah. But you'd still, if you hit 1 billion users, you'd still need to be like,
yeah,
hey, remember that lightning thing you were talking about, Tidwell?
Yeah.
I think we might need it too, even with bigger blocks.
Yeah, the thing is though, like, and we've had this conversation before. It's like it's a matter of like forcing people onto the second layer because with BTC and its high fees, like you're almost forced to use the second layer for low fees.
There's definitely a group of people, maybe even myself included, who feel like that's kind of pushed, right? Mm-hmm. As the only option right now. No one really looks at Liquid and be like, "Oh yeah, thanks." Maybe and some people maybe they do, but the people I've talked to, no one's super excited about. I'm really excited about Drive Chain, right? I would love for Drive Chain to be a thing.
Have you heard of Train Chain?
Train.
Train Chain. All right, here. I need to find it for you. I believe in my case, he said it's not just religion. There is a belief that to be sustainable as the block subsidy declines, there will have to be a transaction backlog to pay the miners. Quantity over quality. Kind of works.
What do you think about Pump?
What do I think about Pomp? He's Mike and Spice.
Mike and Spice, is that a thing?
I think I've said it before.
Mike and Spice.
All right, here's the Train Chain.
That's the best picture ever.
So it was I'm kind of in the way here. There's so much shit on my screen. There it is. Okay. Kyle Torpy says he does Bitcoin journalism, but yet Paul says he did not report on Train Chain, the biggest news of the year. And said, the Train Chain is always on track, always chugging along.
Oh my God, Mike, did you make this meme?
All aboard the Train Chain.
This is the best fucking meme. I love this picture. This is the best picture of Paul. I mean, it's perfect.
Yeah.
That's perfect.
It's nice.
Thank you, Mike, for that.
So yeah, that's the Train Chain. So And yeah, you can farm a train, so that's important.
But yeah, I would say drive chain.
That's just like
Super excited about it.
high level. That's you put a bunch of different proof of works onto one chain that's like interoperable with different. No,
One proof of work.
one proof of work that goes to different chains.
So multiple chains, but all mined by the same miners. So one miner, when you mine a block on Bitcoin, you also have the opportunity to mine a block on the side chain as well. So there isn't going to be infinite amount of side chains. There's going to only be like, hey, if you get consensus by the miners to say that this is a real legit need for a side chain, then they would start mining it.
Okay.
They need to, it's a very opt-in thing, and if the majority of miners aren't mining a side chain, it dies. So you have risk on, if you put Bitcoin onto a side chain, and let's say there's a big block chain, like you lock up your Bitcoin, instead of going to Lightning Network, you go into a side chain. If miners stop mining that side chain, that you could essentially get your coin stolen.
Okay.
That's the risk.
Gotcha.
But via game theory, and as we see with Bitcoin Cash not getting attacked every day, the theory is there's more incentive to keep the chains alive and to collect fees
Right.
than to attack them.
Right.
And also, as long as you have 50, some percentage, I think it's like even less than 50%, but some like percentage of honest, miners that are trying to keep the chain alive, then it won't die, or you can't steal the coins. So it's very miner focused. I think it's a decent idea. The one thing I really like about it, it doesn't matter what Core thinks. It doesn't matter what Peter Woolley thinks. It doesn't matter what I think. It doesn't matter what Paul thinks. If there's enough adoption, this could just happen because it doesn't necessarily require a hard fork.
Mm-hmm.
So that's why, hopefully, it happens. But
Why hasn't it happened yet?
Core isn't on board. Core isn't on board.
They,
on the train.
I thought you said it doesn't matter what they think.
It doesn't, but Paul, I don't think he's trying to rock the train too hard. I think he also wants it to be like widely supported and liked and loved, and I think he's trying to do it the least controversial way as possible.
He is a nice guy.
I think so.
He's a very nice guy. Met him at TapConf.
He's one of the more interesting people I know, for sure.
Him and Andres Brecken were talking. Mm-hmm. Have you ever just sat around them as they talk? Like, Jesus Christ, that's a lot of intelligence.
Paul brings out a lot of interesting conversations with people. I've noticed.
That was usually I can kind of follow like blockchain talk, but Jesus Christ, was I lost.
Yeah, that's how I know you're talking to Paul.
Yeah, or
you're within Paul's vicinity.
Yeah. What else is on your mind lately? How long have we been going? It was almost 2 hours. Jesus Christ. Do you know I'm going to Brazil tomorrow? I'm literally flying to Brazil tomorrow.
Cool.
For 2 weeks. Yeah.
Are you going to do Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu
with
Roger Ver?
Paul is a really awful person from Peter Todd. Oh, Jesus.
Yeah, probably because of drive chain.
Yeah.
So Core sees drive chain as an attack.
Yeah, of course they do. Everything's an attack. Yes, actually. I mean, I do jiu-jitsu, right? You already know that. Regularly.
Yeah, so you could probably beat me up if I wasn't looking.
Yeah, only if you weren't looking. Just don't punch me, though. Punching's not allowed in jiu-jitsu.
I won't try to hurt you.
Or kicks.
We'll have peace.
All right.
I'm glad we have distance between us.
Yeah, very many miles.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I am actually bringing it's called a gi, my Brazilian outfit, my jiu-jitsu.
It's like a
uniform. No, it's like pajamas kind of. It's not like a leotard, which is wrestling, which is a singlet, which is tight. Mm-hmm. It's like pajamas. It's like a big jacket and pants that when you do jiu-jitsu.
Is it white?
Yeah, it's normally white.
And you like grab people.
Yeah, you can grab it.
Yeah.
And you can choke people with it and shit. So
But that's more like judo, right?
You can grab it like that and choke you like that type of shit.
Yeah, it looks
judo
like
is
dude. It looked
kicking.
like you grabbed me, kind of. That was funny.
That's pretty good effects.
Yeah. But judo has the same kind of outfit, right?
Yeah, that's more just like kicking and stuff, though.
But you can still like grab people by the thing in judo, right?
Yeah. But yeah, I am bringing my stuff to Brazil because when in Brazil, you do jiu-jitsu.
That's cool, man.
So
I hope you have a good time.
yeah, me too. I'm very excited.
Get an autograph from Roger Ver, that famous guy.
Because he's in St. Kitts, not Brazil. He's on an island. Speaking of, whatever. He was. I'm obviously on the Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu subreddit, and all of a sudden this post comes up, and it's like, I'm on this island, and
Oh yeah,
did I tell you about this?
yeah. You think it was
Yeah,
Roger?
I tell you that in person. Yeah,
Yeah, and he was like willing to pay like all expenses paid, just
Yeah.
come train.
yeah. Come do jiu-jitsu with me. and
Talk
come to
about,
this island.
Roger is in such a unique situation. He can hire a personal chef,
Personal training partners.
a personal training partner.
Like multiple. He wanted like 3 or 4 people to come for like a month. And if I didn't have a girl, I probably would have taken all that over. But you know,
Could have brought her with you.
yeah, could have.
She could
But,
have tended to your wounds after Roger Ver kicked your ass.
But yeah, that was funny. And like everybody's like, you know, talking like, oh, do we have to butt stuff? All that shit in the comments because it's like, yeah. Anyways, then one person was like, oh, this is obviously Roger Ver. He's rich from crypto, but he's a huge douchebag. But he's a cunt. I'm like, and then I looked through the dude's history, and he's like a lightning shill. I was like, of course, dude. Anyways,
Was it JC?
no, it wasn't JC. I don't think JC does jiu-jitsu. Hangs out in the jiu-jitsu subreddit. Maybe he does
You
though.
can't stereotype people. We learned that
It's
about
true.
JC.
I know some bigger guys in jiu-jitsu, so you can't say it. JC's a wild card, so maybe it was him.
JC learned backyard jujitsu. You don't want to mess with him. He fights dirty.
He learned it from the origins. He learned it in Japan. He learned Japanese jiu-jitsu. Triple J. Better than BJJ.
Not better than BJ though.
No. Anyways.
You want to call it, or we have a couple more things?
We can call it. You got
I'll
anything
call.
else on your mind?
I'm good, man.
I'm good. Good. Hi, yeah, we can call it. Thank you, everybody, for hanging out with us. If you're watching this on pre-record and you made it this far, wow.
Remember, everyone, you're the real hero here.
Yeah, you're the hero for sticking with us. This is true. Thank you for being here today. Yeah, that was close.
Yeah, it almost looked real.
Almost looked like we were together.
Yeah. All right, man. I'm gonna go to bed. See ya.
All right, peace.
Yeah.
Have a good one.